Hi guys, Jean here. Oh my God, it feels like Judgment Day. It feels like Judgment Day. And my coach did tell me that. She did say, by the time you get just around the 17, 18 day kind of mark, which right now it's like 15 days, but I started before the 5th, the 1st of January doing videos, and I'm doing 100 videos, one video every single day for YouTube. That's my assignment. Well, no, it's not. Nobody gave me that assignment. It was a suggestion. But I was told that just around this moment where we think that we are getting it and we are on top of things, I found out that this is the time when you start feeling like, well, me, like I'm a fraud. Um, I'm judging everything. I'm judging my shirt. I'm judging my space. I'm judging my room. I'm just judging, and I'm just about to take myself out of the game, you know, because yeah, I didn't realize it would come on so strong to yeah, I really didn't realize that. Um I make these things very easy. As you can tell, I am not editing my video right now. I'm just kind of storytelling. And if you haven't looked at my other videos, you can go and start from number one, or just go back and check all my videos. You're going to get, I'm just storytelling at this point. Until I get to a place where I'm editing and doing all the right things, then I'm probably gonna do a mixture of things because I have so much ideas. Just letting you know that this is my retirement gig. That's my gig. This is my part-time retirement gig. So please like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be very grateful because your like and your subscription is just going to help. It's going to help me. It's free for you, but it's going to help me um, you know, get where I'm going, which is retirement, right? You heard me mention that before. Anyways, I wanted to tell you guys about, the hardest thing that I think that ever happened to me. Now, I am one of those people for many years now. I've been saying that I do not want to live with regret. As a matter of fact, maybe it's not even I do not want to live with regret. It's like I am not going to live with any regret. And so for me to be able to not have regrets in my life, it means that that list of things that I've always wanted to do and I haven't done yet, and I'm in my well, you guys know I'm in my 60s now, and I don't want to out myself, but that's where I'm at, and tell who you want to tell. It's on here. um, but I don't want to have this regret. So I've always, for many years, God, since I was in my first marriage, I'm divorced from that marriage, but I had always wanted to do social work in some kind of a way. But after I went and spent time in at the ashram, at the spiritual place that I've talked about in all my other videos, after I went to the ashram and did my program there, when I left, I decided to do life coaching. And I just love. I just wanted to be of service. I wanted to be of service. I wanted people to experience what I had experienced. I wanted to help them, move them into that kind of experience. And I wanted to help people just to actually, know themselves, know their life, know what they like, know what they want, know what they dream about. It's all over the internet, but it's my dream. I have never taken it from that place. I've always done self development. As a matter of fact, I'm the type of person, if you're looking for me in a library or in a bookstore, I'm standing in the self-help section. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm always at. Improvement, improvement, improvement. And when you get to know me a little better, you would understand maybe, why that is. So, anyways, I decided at 16 to go back to university because I wanted to do psychology, right? I decided that was on my list. I wanted to do psychology. Now, mind you, I have no I had no money. I had no money, but I decided I'm going to university. I apply. It so happened I got into one because actually I had ended up going to college. Um, when I arrived in Canada, 5 years after I arrived in Canada, I went to high school and I started in grade six. And then I end up going to college after 2 years in high school. And for this life of me, I didn't even know why they took me into college either because I arrived and I thought they made a mistake. I thought they really did make a mistake. I'm the first, I think, in my family to ever go into college and these things, especially coming from a small island on my own. And if you know my history, you're going to understand where I'm going with this, right? So I end up in university, and obviously I haven't been there for 100 years, right? So it's just, what am I thinking? What am I thinking, right? But I was excited. But there was so much, like when I arrived, I know I was the oldest person in university, in that particular university here in Mount Royal University in Calgary. I was kind of like, I didn't have any like-minded peer. My best friend turned out to be like a 19-year-old. Honest, I'm not kidding you. My best friend, I met her in English class, and I just love her, and we just got along. And I thought at one point I thought she was indigenous, but she's not. And she was doing social work, and she had her whole life planned. Like, I mean, actually, I think she was older than me. Honestly, she was 19, but much, 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 she was older than me. She had her whole life planned. She know where she was going. She know what work she was going to be doing. She already had a boyfriend that was in the military that she was going to marry. And I'm like, slow down, young woman, slow down. Live a little. Um, she was so grown, but yeah, but she ended up being my little friend. I've been fortunate that way. Really, she ended up being my friend. I just love her. Anyways, where was I? Yeah. So obviously, I spent the whole, and I only stayed for a year. Mind you, I wanted to go and stay in and get a degree, not a degree, but after a year, I left. I left because of a lot of little things. But let me try and give you the three biggest reasons why I left. One, from the time I arrived in that university, my head was in a book. Honestly, I had to, I was slower at everything. I just arrived. I haven't been in school in a million years, right? So I was slower at reading. I was slower at everything. I had to learn how to learn. I had to relearn how to learn when I arrived in the university. So what ended up happening is that from the moment I started all my classes, and plus I had about four class. Don't do that when you're this age and you're going to university. Two classes good enough for you, not four. So I had about four class because of course I had no money, so the government had to pay for that. Well, that's a whole other story. Help me. Help me, help me, help me, people. Anyways, um, so I had to learn how to relearn, and my head, having four classes, my head was always like that. Always. 7 days a week. Whether I am in the school, whether I am at home, whether I am in the bathroom, it doesn't matter where. My head was always in a book. And that was kind of a lot for me because I would get home, I would go to class in the morning time. I would get home about, 4, sometime 5 in the evening because I had a late class. And when I get home, I would have something to eat, and then I would lie down. I would have something to eat, and then I would take 5 minutes lying down. While I'm eating, I'm kind of stealing a little bit of entertainment. When I'm finished that, I my head is in a book. And then my head is in that book for 2 to 3 hours. And when I put it down, I take a shower and I go to sleep. And I get up and is the same. I get up early at 5 in the morning so my head could be in the same book or another book or another book because I'm doing 4 classes. And that was challenging. Like it was really challenging. But let me tell you something. Your girl here, this woman here, I passed all my classes. I didn't fail one class. I passed all my classes. And so the first semester come and go, and I took the second semester. I was a little bit smarter, but it still was, I still end up with in 4 classes, but I just decided not to go to one because I was learning a lot better. But the thing is, I was on my own. I was on my own. Um, I had to live in the city, and where I did live permanently was here in Kenmore. So I had to drive back and forth. I cannot even imagine to tell you guys how challenging that was. If you're going to do something hard, make everything else around it easy. That's what I'm going to say. So for me, going back to university, I left because of that. I left because I had to um it was too much studying. I didn't have a life, like zero. I end up with a zero lives, zero life. Two, basically apart from my very young 19-year-old friend, I didn't have any I didn't have anyone my age, although at the time I didn't look my age. Well, even now, so I didn't have anyone. I wasn't studying with a bunch of people. I was studying for myself all the time. I didn't have any money. I was broke. I didn't have any money. Um, and what else? Oh my God. There's just oh right. And it was too fast. And not fast in the way that I don't think that I would stay with it. It just was not my world. You know? Knowing when something is not your world. It was just not my world. My world, I live in spirituality. Well, I, I mean that sounds kind of I live in spirit. That sounds kind of fucked up, right? Excuse the language, spirituality is swearing here. But I live in a very esoteric kind of world, right? So to speak. Um, and here I am, feminine, that's what I'm looking for. I live in a very feminine kind of a world. It's soft. Well, it could be hard at sometime. But here I am in university, and it's very, very patriarchy. It's very like driven. It's very like get shit done. It's very like, oh my God, I have an exam here. I have another exam there. I have an exam there. This person won this in a week. This person won this in 4 days. This professor say, you have to come in and do a book report. This one over here won this from you. And it was a bit much. It was too male driven. And plus, in psychology as well, all the founding fathers of psychology is male. I actually asked the professor, where was the woman? Why don't we have a woman here on somewhere? Even that pissed me off. Even that pissed me off. Although I really kind of liked going to school and all of that, and I didn't mind studying, but it was just too much. So I only stayed a year, well, 2 semester, which is a long time. I dropped out after 2 semester. And you know what? I didn't even feel bad. I said I was going to go to university. I was excited to go to university. I tell all my friends I was going to go to university. You would think I would be ashamed when I drop out. No, I wasn't. You know why? Because I actually went to university. And I didn't turn around the first day and go, what the fuck? And left. No, I stayed. I stayed. And I actually did some really good classes, you know. I actually did the indigenous, I did an indigenous class there. I did Psych 101, I did sociology. Actually, I did some really cool classes, but um yeah, I didn't, yes. So I I left. I left, yeah. It was hard. It was very, very hard. And I think maybe when I left, that's when I decide I don't really want to do anything that hard anymore in my life. I had done a lot of hard things in life, and but I honestly I went back because I actually wanted to do psychology as my retirement plan. I actually thought it through. I would start, going to school then, and then by the time I'm 60 middle, I'll be finished my schooling, and then I have another 5, maybe even 10 years to be this, this psychology, the psychologist. But you know what? That plan, I had to ditch it, and I was okay with it. And don't get me wrong, I still romance the idea of psychology. I'm still in a romance with it. I still romance it, but I don't have to do it. So that's my story. That's one of the hardest thing that happened to me. But but I don't mind. I am a beginner. I'm always beginning again and beginning again and again. And I'm telling you this, begin again with your life. Don't let anyone tell you that it's too late to do anything. And you know what? Stop living with regret. Like, get over this nonsense, you know? Stop living with regret. Try the thing. If you don't like the thing, leave the thing, you know? The only person who cares is you, is me, right? So try the thing, leave the thing. This is a begin again for me. I'm trying a thing. I might leave this thing, but I'm learning that I really love this thing. And I know after my probation period, which is my 100 days, it's like 3 months, your first 3 months in work. I know I'm still going to be enjoying it, because if I was able to come and sit here tonight and have this conversation with you guys, where I was just like, I didn't want to be, I just was in judgment of everything myself, my space, my hair, my clothes, I was just in judgment tonight. And, and feeling really like a fraud and all the things, right? But you know what? Yeah, I'm here. So please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you enjoy my my ramblings, well, thank you. And do less, be more, and thank you so much. I'm going to fast come there and stop my video, because guess what? I am not editing. I am not editing.